Now, exactly 100 days ago, Myanmar was thrown into chaos and turmoil when the military staged a coup. Our reporter Freya Cole has been following the events. She has been in touch with thousands of young activists on social media, and she joins me now. What a milestone, 100 days, Freya, and the passion, the commitment from the activists you've been in touch with to return things to a state of democracy still burns so bright.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the situation remains bleak, and yet those calls for a return to democracy remain as strong as they were 100 days ago when the military coup happened. But before we get too far into that and hear from people inside the country, let's take a look back at the events which got us to this point. On February 1st, the military disposed the civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi and declared a state of emergency for a year. It blamed voter fraud in the 2020 federal election, which has never been proven. The coup triggered a mass uprising of daily protests and a nationwide boycott from civil servants. The military retaliated with restrictions, including curfews, limits to gatherings and internet blackouts. Security forces used water cannons, rubber bullets and live ammunition to disperse protesters. And according to activists, more than 780 people have died in the protests. Thousands more have gone missing or are still detained. And according to the UN, the fallout from this military coup, combined with the coronavirus pandemic, will push an extra 12 million people into poverty.
Freya, from day one, you've been in contact with so many people on social media, reaching out to you, sharing with you their stories. Many of them are so young.
They are young. They're Generation Z and millennials. And I've been reporting on the coup from the newsroom here in London and watching the consequent revolution unfold on social media. And I've had close to 180,000 young people flock to my personal Twitter account to tell me what's happening in their patch of the world. And it's been quite staggering. I asked them this morning how they're feeling 100 days on. Let's bring in some of those tweets now so I can share them all with you. This one here from a young woman: spending every day thinking of how our innocent civilians are being killed and being captured aches my heart so much. Never been this depressed in my whole life. Our future is just plain dark and I'm totally lost right now. Please hear our voices, please hear us and help us. And I've chosen one other tweet from a young man, I believe he's in Yangon. He says, I want a complete overthrow of the whole dictatorial community. Most of us are having difficulties with living costs, feeling unsafe for days and nights. I've never felt this kind of loss in my life, and yet I've never had this strong desire to fight and win. We will never surrender.
And people have also sent you clips as well, wanting to share with you, their stories.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to highlight at this point just how dangerous it is to report on the situation in Myanmar, and it's equally as dangerous for ordinary citizens to speak to journalists. So any of my close contacts, it's really important to me to keep their identity covered. So the clips I'm about to play you, their face has been blurred, but these people have been integral to my experience reporting on the situation in Myanmar. Let's hear from them on this milestone.
Hi everyone, I'm one of the youth from Myanmar. So May 11 marks 100 days since the coup. We are still fighting, we are still suffering, we stay free and safe. Military keeps pushing us to the ground.
Since the coup, we lost every single human rights we have. But now we have CRPH, NUG and People Defense Force. We fully support NUG and People Defense Force. We must win this fight.
I've been in this revolution against the gender since day one, and it has been coming to day 100. And the condition is becoming worse and worse, especially the ethnic minorities. They are under airstrikes. They are in danger of their lives, and many people are starving and not enough shelter. They don't have shelters and they don't have enough food.
We, the people of Kachin land, want self-determination, and then we want to build the federal democratic country based on the liberty, justice, and political equality.
Activists from right across the country there. Explain for us, for people who don't know, what that salute is that we just saw at the end.
Yeah, we saw very briefly that three-finger salute. That's become a symbol of this revolution, as it has in Hong Kong and Taiwan. And it's a sign to military oppressors that they're not wanted. They're not wanted to be the rulers of this country. And I think we've seen that three-finger salute so often across the last 100 days in street art and also in digital art, which I've taken a huge passion in seeing that unfold on social media. I've been speaking with one Burmese woman here in the UK. She's actually painted 100 of those three-finger salutes as her way of showing that she wants to be a part of this revolution and that she's thinking of her people back home. I want to bring her story to you.
Each three-finger salute on its own might not look dreadfully remarkable, but when you do see 100 on a wall, it's very impactful. And I think that has parallels with what people are doing in Burma. Everybody's trying to do their own little part, and together it will be very, very powerful force for change. I don't actually have the words to describe the utter horror and helplessness I feel watching the events unfold, and the lack of information because the internet has been cut off. I think art has always played a tremendous role in revolutions in history because it's such a powerful form of communication. They're all up on my living room wall, most of one side of it now. I'm going to have to move to a different wall after about 106 days. If it takes another 90 or 100 days, I will keep on doing it because I want to show that Burmese people in Myanmar, I am thinking of you, and I will keep on trying to raise awareness, however long it takes.
Such a powerful piece of art there, Freya. Just briefly, financial sanctions are in place, but what else are activists calling for? What other pressure do they want put on the regime?
Well, activists and human rights organisations are calling for individual countries to enforce an arms embargo to stop the flow of weaponry getting into the hands of the Myanmar military, because only then do the people of Myanmar stand a chance against this brutal regime.
Freya, thank you so much for bringing all of that to us. Thank you as we mark that milestone, 100 days since the coup.